This week we'll learn how to write a Geojson file, which makes it easy to take our data and bring it into many GIS systems. Welcome to another MetPy Monday. Hello, I'm John Lehman, a software engineer for Unidata. This week, I want to look at Geojson Files, or a modified JSON file, which is really just a JavaScript object notation file. These are common ways to pass data around the internet, and JSON and Python dictionaries pretty much have a one-to-one mapping. So we've added this layer on top of it that lets us talk about common geometric things like points, lines, polygons, and so on. In addition, we can put properties with those. And when we put properties with geometric objects, we call them features. This is, of course, all outlined in a standard. You can go to geojson.org, which is this very simple web page, but links you to RFC 7946. RFC 7946 is the IETF's definition of the Geojson format, and it's actually not all that long, and it's worth having a read through if you're serious about using Geojson. But really, this has been a pretty common file format to interchange data between systems and a GIS component. I know a lot of folks are using GIS now, and Geojson can be a really good way to bring that data into a GIS system. Though there are some limitations. As you'll see, this is a rather large file format. We have to use lots of characters and it's plain text to describe something, so it's not necessarily the most efficient in terms of disk space or transmitting as a file format. But if you're not dealing with, say, radar data, if you have some surface obs for a field project, this might not be a bad thing to look at, especially if you're trying to make a real-time dashboard. So we're going to use the Geo Json Library, which you can get off of PyPI. And of course, they've got a GitHub page that has lots of great examples. And in fact, they even show you what each of the types of geometries look like. You can click and get an example, and they point you to the appropriate section and appendix of that IETF RFC 7946 to read more about each of these. But without further ado, let's get in and write some code. So if you haven't installed Geojson, you can of course pip install Geojson. I've already done that, so I'm going to import the Geojson library. And then from Geojson, I'm going to import the feature, the point, and the feature collection. You'll notice that some of these sound familiar from other meteorological data sets that we've looked at. We try to keep a common terminology. All right, so the first thing I need to do is create a feature. We're going to build this from the smallest thing, like an individual point, all the way up to something that's a feature collection that we can plot. So really the feature is the point and some properties. So we could even break this step apart a little bit further if we wanted. But as you'll see, the syntax is really quite straightforward, so I generally make the feature and the point at the same time. So I'm going to create my feature 1. It is a feature object. Its geometry is going to be a point because I'm going to say this is a surface station. We're just making an observation here. And my point is going to have, the first argument is its geometries, and this is in lon lat format, or XY format. So I'm going to use the longitude and the latitude of Boulder, Colorado. And then we're going to specify some properties. So these are things that we want to include, but they aren't necessary to locate this point on Earth. So for example, I'm going to set a temperature property to be 24. And I'm going to set a humidity property to be 50. I'm going to go ahead and create another point, or another feature rather. So its geometry is also going to be point. We're not going to get into polygons this week. And I'm going to use a longitude and a latitude for Fort Collins, Colorado, just to the north of Boulder. Again, we'll specify some properties, such as temperature of 28 and a humidity of 47. All right, so now we've created the geometry, which is the point. It's just an individual point on the face of the globe. And we've incorporated that into a feature, which is the geometry plus some properties that we want to associate with it. In this case, temperature and humidity. All right, so now I'm going to create a feature collection, which just puts all of these features together. So my feature collection is going to be a feature collection object. Again, use tab completion and save yourself some typing. And I'm going to pass a list of my feature 1 and my feature 2. So those are our two features. Now, obviously, you would probably be bringing this in from a CSV file or some other source to create this. Here, we're just hand creating these points for demonstration. But I've certainly read in a CSV with pandas and looped over it to do this very easily. Okay, now we've got our feature collection. So let's go ahead and write that out to a file. So I'm going to use a context manager so I don't have to handle the closing of my file myself. I'm going to call it mydata.json. I'm going to open it in write mode. And I'm going to use the handle f. Then we can call f.write and tell it what we want to write. From the Geo Json library, we're going to use the dumps feature, which is dump string. And this will take whatever we put in here and take a string representation of it and return that. So we want to get a string representation of our feature collection. All right, so we've written our first JSON file, or Geojson file specifically. So let's go take a look at it. Now, if you open it up in the Jupyter Lab environment, you'll see you actually get this sort of hierarchical representation, and it doesn't really show us what's on disk. It's trying to make it a little easier for us to browse, though. So if you're just trying to poke through a JSON file, this is not a bad thing at all. But we want to see the raw representation. So we're going to open it up in your favorite text editor. So if we open it up in Visual Studio Code, you can see we really just have a bunch of text here, and quite a bit. So for example, we say that we're in a feature collection type, and the features, we've got all of the information that we put in. You can see that this is not exactly a compact format. It's certainly not near as compact as a binary or even a CSV would be, but it's somewhat self-describing and can be, again, read by many of those GIS utilities we all use. So in working with JSON files, specifically Geojson files, I found this really helpful site, which is geojson.io. With this site, you can upload a file from your disk or from GitHub or a gist, or you can just put Geojson right in here. Now, of course, you wouldn't want to upload anything that you don't want going out to the internet, but this is a pretty handy tool and even lets you do some manual creation of features and geometries. So let's load up our file. So there it is. There's our text representation, and here are our 2 points in Boulder and Fort Collins. If I click on them, we see there are properties of temperature and humidity. Some default style properties have been added. We can uncheck to not show those, but these are standard names and we can also modify them. So let's go back to our notebook, and I'm going to add to my feature 1 another property. That property is marker-color, and I'm going to specify the hex color code for red. Now let's go ahead and recreate this file. And if I load the new file, we see that now we have a red marker. So it would be very easy to do things like color markers based on a variable and pull that right into one of these mapping tools, be it online or in GIS, to get a quick heads-up view that you can even zoom and pan around in. So while GeoJSON may not be the perfect format for distributing large quantities of data, it is a very useful tool to have in your tool belt and allows you to interact with many online services in a trivial way. I hope that you found this useful, and I'll see you on next week's MetPy Monday.